Good afternoon and welcome to the July 9, 2025 Lenawee County Board of Commissioners meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Ask everyone to please rise for the invocation to be offered by our county clerk, Roxanne Holloway, which she'll follow with the Pledge of Allegiance. And cell phones should be silenced inside the chambers except emergency services and law enforcement. Thank you.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for your love and grace today. We're grateful for the blessings you've given us. We just ask that you please guide us in our thoughts and our words and our actions today, Lord. We ask all this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you, Clerk Holloway. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Ungst.
Here.
Commissioner Blanco. Here. Commissioner Collins. Commissioner Daly.
Here.
Commissioner Krasny.
Here.
Commissioner Martis.
Here.
Commissioner Stimson. Here. Commissioner Tillotson.
Here.
Commissioner Van Doren.
Here.
8 present, 1 absent.
Approval of the minutes of June 26, 2025 would be in order.
Motion to approve. Support.
I have a motion by Commissioner Unk, supported by Commissioner Martis. Additions or corrections? Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. The minutes are approved. Amendments to the agenda.
If there are no other amendments to the agenda, I would make a motion that we accept them as printed.
Support.
I have a motion by Commissioner Tillotson, supported by Commissioner Martis. Thank you. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Petitions and communications.
I do not have anything.
Commissioners? Thank you. Introduction of special guests. Limited public comment. This is the time that on the agenda for items that are on the agenda to be discussed by the public. When you're called, come to the podium, state your name and your residency, speak directly into the microphone, address your comments to the official seated at the front of the room, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Just a reminder, this is not a dialogue or a debate or a question and answer section with elected officials. I only have one request that was forwarded up to me on the flock system by a Mr. Suter. Is that correct? Step up. Just state your name and your residency, please.
My name is Steve Seneker, and I'm a resident of Adrian.
Is that microphone on?
Outside Adrian.
Press the button down so
the green
light
button
comes on.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, awesome. I had comments regarding the flock system. My son is a cop in Indiana, and he actually has access to the flock system used down there. And it's a very helpful system. I know others have commented that they have privacy concerns. Really, if you're in the public, you really don't have that much right to privacy. I could drive from here to 223. I'm probably going to get picked up by about 10 surveillance cameras. So it is not used for traffic violations, running red light or speeding. It's used for those who they're looking for misdemeanors or felonies. The access is limited to just a few people in the department, and in order to gain access to it, you have to fill out a case file and also what the probable misdemeanor or felony is in order to access the system. So it's particularly helpful for cars that are stolen. The flock system has a database of all stolen cars that are reported. That's not just in that city or state, it's nationwide. And so if it picks up that particular license plate, within 30 seconds, all the police cars are notified that such and such, there was a stolen car that went past this camera. So it's been very helpful. It's reduced crime, in particular the stolen car issue. It's particularly good for hit and runs too. So I would be fully supportive. If you can afford it, purchase it. It's a great system. It reduces crime. So thank you so much.
Thank you for your comments.
Yep.
Today, it's our honor to have a resolution honoring the firefighters and emergency responders from the March 25th fire in the city of Adrian, and it will be presented by Commissioner Ungst. And if you'd like to step forward, gentlemen, and all those that are being recognized, we'd love to have you.
Okay, well, it's a privilege for me to be presenting today. As a fellow fire chief, I know exactly what these departments go through, and I do want to say Lenawee County's got a very unique situation when it comes to fires. All the fire departments work so well together. We're one big team. Each individual department does their own thing until the big fire comes in, and we all come together and work together. And this is a great example of how this works. This was a very large fire in the city of Adrian, and it brought in almost the whole county of Lenawee and even a department from Monroe County as well. So, again, my honor to be presenting. So, whereas on March 15th, 2025, a devastating fire erupted in the heart of Adrian's historic downtown district, threatening the safety of residents, local businesses, and treasured community landmarks. And whereas through the swift, skilled, and courageous response of firefighters, police officers, and emergency personnel, the fire was contained and no injuries were sustained despite significant damage to multiple buildings. And whereas the Adrian Fire Department led the emergency response with bravery and determination and was supported by an extraordinary group of partnering agencies, including the Adrian Police Department, fire departments from Adrian Township 7-2, Blissfield 7-3, Ridgeway Township 7-4, Palmyra 7-8, Deerfield 7-9, Raisin 8-1, Morenci 8-4, Tecumseh 8-6, Madison Township 8-8, Addison 8-9, Sand Lake 9-0, and Bedford Township, as well as Lenawee County Dispatch, the Lenawee County Emergency Management and Drone Team, and the Salvation Army. And whereas this coordinated response stands as a testament to the strength and unity of Lenawee County, a community that cares for its neighbors and answers the call when help is needed. And whereas the professionalism, collaboration, and selfless service of these departments embody the highest ideals of public safety and reflect Lenawee County's unwavering commitment to protect life, property, and community heritage. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Lenawee County Board of Commissioners hereby extends its deepest gratitude in commendation to the brave men and women who responded to the March 15th fire. And be it further resolved that their heroic actions will not be forgotten and serve as a powerful reminder that in Lenawee County, when a neighbor is in need, we stand together, strong, resilient, and united. Passed by a roll call vote of the Lenawee County Commissioners at a regular meeting held on July 9th, 2025 in the Old County Courthouse, Adrian, Michigan. I so move. Support.
I have a resolution presented by Commissioner Unk, supported by Commissioner Martis. Discussion. Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Van Doren.
Yes.
Commissioner Unks.
Yes.
Commissioner Blanco.
Yes.
Commissioner Collins is absent. Commissioner Daly.
Yes.
Commissioner Krasny.
Yes.
Commissioner Martis.
Yes.
Commissioner Stimson.
Yes.
Commissioner Tillotson.
Yes.
8 yeas.
Resolution passes.
present this to you. We will have a... Thank you. You want to say anything?
Approval of the consent agenda would be in order.
Support.
I have a motion by Commissioner Martis, supported by,
The other way around.
Other way, yeah.
okay, who made the motion?
Commissioner Stimson.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Motion offered by Commissioner Stimson, supported by Commissioner Martis. Discussion. Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Ungst?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanco?
Yes.
Commissioner Collins is absent. Commissioner Daly?
Yes.
Commissioner Krasny?
Yes.
Commissioner Martis?
Yes.
Commissioner Stimson? Yes. Commissioner Tillotson?
Yes.
Commissioner Van Doren?
Yes.
8 yeas, 1 absent.
Consent agenda passes. Is there a reason that July statement's on there? Okay. Standing committee reports. Accounts payable, Commissioner Martis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The County Accounts Payable Committee met on June 26, 2025. The Accounts Payable Committee approved the payments of the June 5, 2025 check run in the amount of $759,063.02, with the general funds portion being $60,887.02. The June 12, 2025 check run in the amount of $2,624,719.61, with the general funds portion being $180,962.26. The June 12, 2025 delinquent tax check run in the amount of $8,241,614.61, with no general fund portion. The June 19, 2025 check run in the amount of $1,993,082.95, with the general funds portion being $148,006.74, and the June 26, 2025 check run in the amount of $554,455.28, with the general funds portion being $25,922.38. I move that we approve the accounts payable payments in the amount of $14,172,935.47, with the general funds portion being $415,778.40.
Support.
I have a motion by Commissioner Martis, supported by Commissioner Blanco. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Criminal justice, there's just 2 items under criminal justice. The chairman isn't here today. The first one was the concurrent jurisdiction plan that we were reviewing from last month, and I'll turn it over to the administrator for that.
This was the concurrent plan that the courts provided you. It required a 30-day review of the commission. There's no formal action needed on this. It was just needed to have the 30-day view. And so that's why it's on here, is just to acknowledge that you've had that 30-day window. If you have any questions, we can try to answer those. But there's nothing else that needs to be done. And after today's meeting, I will be able to sign off on that plan and get it back to the courts.
Questions for the administrator? Thank you, Administrator Murphy. Flock camera system, we have a request.
Yes, the Criminal Justice Committee did review again the flock camera system. The recommendation is to enter into a 2-year pilot contract with Flock Group for a total of $55,000 from the criminal justice allocation, and authorize the board chairman, Van Doren, to sign said agreement.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
I I have a motion by Commissioner Tillotson, supported by Commissioner Blanco. Discussion? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Blanco.
Yes.
Commissioner Collins is absent. Commissioner Daly?
Yes.
Commissioner Krasny?
No.
Commissioner Martis?
No.
Commissioner Stimson?
Yes.
Commissioner Tillotson?
Yes.
Commissioner Van Doren?
Yes.
Commissioner Ungst?
Yes.
6 yeas and 2 nays and 1 absent.
Motion passes. Thank you. IT and equalization did not meet. Personnel, Ways and Means, Commissioner Martis.
Personnel Ways and Means met yesterday at a breathtaking pace. The minutes are in your packet. I believe everything was on the consent agenda except for the 2 items we just took a look at. So,
Okay, questions for Commissioner Martis? Thank you, Commissioner Martis. Policies and procedures. Again, Commissioner Collins isn't here, but I'm going to turn it over to the administrator. The social media policy was approved by that committee to come to this board, and I've asked the administrator to present the highlights today just for everyone because it's a few changes in that policy. So, Administrator Murphy.
Thank you. Just so that you know, this is not necessarily a new policy. It has previously been incorporated into the IT policy. But because social media has really come to the forefront in a number of different areas, we opted to pull it out of the IT policy and create a separate policy addressing it. In addition, we have the position of marketing and communications coordinator, and at the IT meeting, we monthly report out on what is happening in our social media. So keep in mind, this policy is more for county employees, but I wanted to make sure that you are aware of what this is about. So this policy shall govern the use of social media by Lenawee County employees when posting for Lenawee County. There's a category called seek approval. Once a department head or his designee has approved, the employee must contact the county's marketing and communications coordinator to establish a social media account, which will be managed through our social media management software. It is important that all the county brand guidelines are followed when managing these county-sponsored social media sites. We want to respect our county resources, so social media at work will work only when, it is appropriate to use social media at work only when your use has been approved by your department head and or his designee and is directly related to accomplishing your work goals. Thereby, we won't have employees working on their own personal social media when they are on the job. It is important that the comments on these sites will be directly reflected upon the county, and so we want to make sure that any employee posting on these are fact-checking their information and making sure their comments are appropriate. It's also important for our employees to understand that there are some legal considerations that they need to be aware of when posting. And in order to avoid liability for themselves and the county, there is a list of items which we suggest that they do not make comments that are discriminatory, compromise safety, security, etc. And you can see a list of those on the second page. It's also important for people to understand that social media sites are not government sites, and so they do not follow the Michigan State retention. However, the county is a governmental unit, and our social media sites are subject to Michigan State's record retention laws. And so all of our emails and things that happen on our email site are retained for future use. We have an archival software for all social media posts, comments, and messages. We do have a disclaimer and a removal. So during the setup of all social media sites, a disclaimer and removal statement will be posted. Comments that are offensive, harassing, or off-topic can be removed, however, should only be deleted by the marketing and communications coordinator, so appropriate archival can take place. This is prominently displayed as a disclaimer and removal statement on all of our sites that accept comments from the public, that comments that are offensive, harassing, or off-topic will be removed. It's important also, as we've been working on our branding, to make sure that the appropriate county logo is being used. And we want to make sure that everyone understands that all county policies apply when they are using social media on behalf of the county. And this includes the communications section of this policy, equal employment opportunity policy, harassment policy, and the employee personnel handbook. We've indicated to employees that they may list their county positions on their personal social media accounts, but they are not authorized to speak or comment on behalf of the county. It is recommended that they keep their privacy and security in mind when engaging in personal social media use. Employees found to be in violation of this policy may be subject to disciplinary action up to and including dismissal from employment pursuant to the county's personnel handbook or other applicable agreement, and if applicable, may be subject to prosecution under federal or state laws. And those are just the highlights. The detail of the policy will be able to be found on our website.
Is there a motion for adoption of the policy?
So moved.
Support.
I have a motion by Commissioner Martis, supported by Commissioner Unks. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. The policy is adopted. Physical resources did not meet. Board appointments coming up. Airport did not meet. Community Action Agency, Commissioner Stimson. Thank you, Commissioner. Community Mental Health Authority, Commissioner Stimson. Thank you. County Planning Commissioner, Commissioner Blanco.
We did meet. We had a pretty hefty meeting. We looked at two different zoning applications in Rome Township. One was for a battery storage. It was recommended for approval. And then a solar plan in Rome Township, just mapping out where they would potentially allow or disallow solar projects. And then there was application in Rollin, a change from agricultural to lake residential that was recommended for approval. And finally, PA 116 farmland agreement in Palmyra Township that was also recommended for approval. And then we talked a little bit more about a dinner to happen this fall, which is rapidly approaching, and there hopefully will have a venue established at our next meeting, which will be the third week of this month. And that's it.
Thank you. Questions? Thank you, Commissioner Blanco. Department of Health and Human Services Medical Care Facility, Commissioner Tillotson.
We met this month, and really the big thing is in that meeting is a bed count change. As discussed last month, 12 beds were delicensed to create more private rooms. This was effective on June 1. There were one requested 12 beds as the change had to be in effect at the beginning of the month and couldn't have a final room ready at the time. Our total bed count is now 113 beds with 18 semi-private beds and 95 private rooms. So that gives you a little scope as to how big it is.
Yeah.
It's much bigger than as you drive it. In the real estate business, they would say, it's not a drive-by.
Questions for Commissioner Tillotson? Thank you, Commissioner. Emergency 911 District Board, I believe they did meet, but the chairman, our representative, isn't here, so.
I believe they meet tomorrow.
Oh, they meet tomorrow. Okay, thank you, Commissioner Unks. Health Board did not meet. Land Bank Authority did not meet. Lenawee Transportation, Commissioner Tillotson.
They met, and for the month of May, they've got the number of rides broke down into really 4 categories, but the senior portion was 542 rides. The disabled was 2,544 rides. The senior disabled was 1,582 rides, and the regular rides were at 1,223 for a total of 5,891.
Good. Questions? Thank you, Commissioner. MAC Finance and General Government is on summer leave. Administrator Murphy has something.
I do. I just want to let the commissioners know I did send you an email from MAC, basically with a login. So if you're interested in seeing what the platforms are prior to the MAC meeting at the beginning of October, you can log in through that email that I sent you and take a look at those.
Thank you. And I'm not sure Judiciary didn't meet. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Marie Spear Campus, our representative isn't here, but they will be having their annual meeting next Wednesday. The meeting's coming up next Wednesday, their annual meeting. Parks Commission, Commissioner Tillotson.
I was not able to to attend the last meeting, but I did. Commissioner Martis says that the musical instrument phase is just about done. He took quite a number of pictures, said there were a mother and daughter there, and they were playing chimes, and were really, really enthused about it. I think it's something that a lot of people are going to get a lot of fun out of, and that's what it's about. So,
Commissioner Martis.
Yeah, I agree. I stopped by to go for a walk after a planning commission meeting, and when I opened my door, I could hear chimes, which I wasn't used to hearing there, and there's a mom and her young daughter playing, and so I introduced myself, and they said they were really enjoying it, and so then I post the pictures on the Blissfield Facebook page, well over 100 likes and a lot of hearts, and very, no negative comments, which is rare when matters of government, so it was very nice.
Thank you for posting those pictures. It does look very nice. We'll have to get out there and look at it. Maybe have a little picnic out there this year. Administrator Murphy.
Well, I appreciate you bringing it up. We were just talking before the meeting. There is also, in conjunction with the musical equipment that is out there, there's something called Story Walk, which is going to be installed, and that's yet to be installed, but it should be in the relatively near future. And it's going to go in, each station will go in between the musical stations, I believe, is the intent. And so once that was installed, we thought that maybe at the next Parks Commission meeting, we could talk about our fall meeting where we usually go to a park and invite everyone for a picnic. And if we do that, I know that Francine has indicated, because she was responsible for getting us the grant that paid for that playground equipment, so I do want to thank her for that publicly. But she had indicated if we do that, representatives from MISTA may want to come down, since that was our granting authority, to see how well it turned out, and that we could possibly do a ribbon cutting at that time. So more to come on that.
Thank you, Francine. It's very nice, looks very nice, so we hope they do come down and join us. That'd be a lot of fun to have them. Questions? Region 2 Planning Commission, I think, meets tomorrow, right, Commissioner Tillotson?
yes,
In Jackson. Solid Waste Committee did not meet. Substance Abuse Disorder. Oversight Policy Board, Commissioner Tillotson, did
they met. I couldn't attend.
Dave, you wouldn't? No, the Regional Policy Board is below it. Okay. Liaison appointments, MTA, Commissioner Blanco.
They don't meet again until September.
Perfect. Road Commission, Commissioner Martis.
Yes, I did attend not their last meeting, because that was this morning, the previous meeting, and of note, which I believe most people are aware, but long-serving and well-respected Road Commissioner Stan Wilson has entered his resignation, and so we're in the process then of receiving applications for replacements, because we appoint the replacement, and I think that lasts until the next, whatever the statutory election cycle is with respect to that. But I've known Stan for a long time, and he's done a great job there, and he will be sorely missed.
Thank you, Commissioner Martis. Anything additional, Administrator Murphy, on the appointment?
No, I'd indicate that we do have the information out there. We decided to post it for about 3 weeks, and whomever applies for those, we are looking at bringing them in August to do a public interview with the board, so that you can potentially make your selection at that time.
Thank you. Questions? Have I missed any liaison appointments? I don't believe so. Unfinished business? New business? Public comment. This is the final public comment portion of the Board of Commissioners, so I have a number of forms that have been filled out. I would remind everyone when I call your name to step up to the microphone and state your name and your residency. Comments should be directed to the officials at the front of the room, and the format for this meeting does not allow for direct dialogue or response during the public comment. We received one by mail from a Harry Milron in Commissioner Blanco's district, and it says, it's intentional inaction is the subject, and the comment is, Madison Township has ignored my pleas for assistance for well over a year now. The poison neighbors sprayed into our yard killed my dog. Now they simply refuse to even speak to me. However, they felt it was perfectly fine to open our gate and search our property, then leave without a word. When I ask for the warrant, I am ignored. Where is the justice in Lenawee County? Next, we will hear from Aaron Cheshire.
Good evening, Commission. My name is Aaron Cheshire, and I'm a City of Adrian resident. I've spoken at City Commission meetings many a time. I know where my city officials stand on the ice raids that have been devastating Adrian, and now I want to know where you stand. I'm here to speak not for myself, but for my neighbors who are afraid to go outside, afraid that they'll be wrongfully detained simply because of the color of their skin. What we're witnessing in Lenawee County is not theoretical, it's happening actively. Since June 14th, 11 people have been taken, including a mother and her 6-month-old child. They asked to show their documentation, and ICE refused. They still got detained, and then they were charged $8,000 each to be released despite having no charges. These are not criminals. These are residents with valid visas, with lives and families here, and yet they were not even allowed to prove that they had that right. We need clarity. We need to know where this commission stands on ICE raids. Are you ready to work with us to protect our neighbors and help build a county where people aren't living in fear? I believe that we can work together. I believe that local leadership still matters, and I believe it's our duty to act. Some of you may believe this isn't a county issue, but if people can't turn to their city commission or their county commission just to say, please help us, then why do we elect you? If we, the people, have to go to Lansing or even Washington just to get justice here in Lenawee, why are you here? I believe the purpose of local government is that when something is too big for one of us to fix, we go to our city. And if it's too big for the city, they can come to you. If it's too big for you, then you can go to the state. But right now, we're stuck. We've hit a wall due to fear of even asking questions on what to do. Because of that, we are scared, we are angry, and we are alone. One of our city commissioners, Bob Banke, recently returned from a trip to Amsterdam where he studied the history of the Holocaust. On Monday night, he said that the parallels are undeniable and that we must do something now. I insist you speak with him. I am no stranger to law enforcement. My great-grandpa, Robert Cheshire, served as the police chief in Adrian for many years, and from what I've heard, including from Commissioner Collins, is that he was a man of great integrity, and based on everything I know and remember about him, he would be heartbroken and ashamed of what's happening with the fear and intimidation unfolding in our county. For the bicentennial, you spoke about Laura Haviland and how we walk in her footsteps. I don't just walk in her footsteps, I carry her blood, as she is my relative. And she would be adamantly opposed to what's happening in Lenawee County today. She would never stand by while this is happening. This county was also the birthplace of the Wide Awakes, the first group to rise against slavery and injustice. We have always been progressive. We have always stood for freedom, and we must do this again. This may be the hardest thing that you ever have to do, but we're begging you to have some sort of help here. We want order and structure. We're not asking for you to break the law. We're asking for you to find something within the law and do it. There are only 1 or 2 decisions that someone may make in their lifetime that will show who they truly are. This is one of them. Thank you.
Thank you. Allie Quinn.
Hello. I'm Allie Quinn from Adrian. Make it who I am. Good afternoon. I'm the founder of Hope in Action, a grassroots mutual aid and advocacy group right here in Adrian. I'm here today because our community is hurting and afraid. In the last few weeks, at least 11 of our neighbors have been taken by ICE. Mothers, fathers, children, people who have lived here for years, working, paying taxes, and raising their kids, contributing to this county. And yet they were taken without warrants, without being allowed to show their paperwork, without due process. Through our mutual aid, we have seen firsthand how deep the fear runs now. People in our neighborhood are afraid to leave their homes, afraid to take their kids to school, afraid to call the police when they need help, afraid they may never come back if they walk out the door. This is not what safety looks like. This is not what justice looks like. We need leadership. We need you, as our county commissioners, to acknowledge what's happening, to publicly oppose these illegal and inhumane actions, and to reassure every resident of Lenawee County that their dignity and their rights matter here. Silence in the face of injustice sends a message too, and it's not the message our community needs right now. We're here, we're willing to work with you, and we hope you'll work with us to keep our neighbors safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Samara Bowling. Is that right?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Samara, and I'm speaking today on behalf of my neighbors, my community, and my conscience. Over the past several weeks, our county has been the site.
Sarah, what community is that? Where's your residency?
I live in Manitow Beach.
Okay, thank you.
Over the past several weeks, our county has been the site of aggressive ICE raids. These aren't careful, targeted operations. Legal residents, people with every right to be here, are being stopped and taken. Some by plainclothes men in unmarked vehicles, some with expired plates. Children have been separated from their parents. Just yesterday, churches and daycares were targeted in Adrian. Where do families go when even our churches are no longer safe? On Monday evening, a woman and her 3 children were just taken from a playground. Just yesterday, farms were being targeted and will continue to be all week. When ICE was asked if people can show them their legal status identification, they were told no. This is not the America I know. In America, we do not round up innocent people because of how they look or how they speak. We don't tear families apart without due process, and we don't let government agents roam neighborhoods unchecked in vehicles that don't even meet the legal standards of our own roads. These aren't criminals being taken. These are taxpayers, business owners, mothers, and fathers, people who help harvest our crops, build our homes, teach our children, and keep our community going. This isn't just a moral issue. It's an economic one. Our local farms are already short-staffed. Small businesses are struggling to keep workers. When people are afraid to participate in daily life, the ripple effect hits schools, healthcare, and local commerce. And we all pay that price. We may not agree on every immigration policy, but I believe we can agree on this. No one should be jailed simply because of their ethnicity or their accent. No one should live in fear of government officials appearing out of nowhere with no badge, no warrant, and no accountability. History has already shown us where that leads and what that looks like. Residents who have witnessed what looks like kidnappings in broad daylight are so traumatized, they're afraid to speak out about what they've seen. The community is being terrorized by our own government, and we were not being terrorized before. I'm asking this board, the conservatives who value law, order, and faith, to take action. I know you will do the right thing for your community. I ask you to require local law enforcement to publicly report any cooperation with ICE. People have the right to know when their tax-funded departments are involved. I ask you to demand proper identification and documentation from any federal agent operating in this county. No badge, no business. And I ask you to establish a rapid response protocol so community leaders and legal aid organizations are immediately alerted when these raids are occurring. We are better than this. This county is better than this. I urge you to take a stand for safety, for dignity, and for the values that we all claim to share. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Evelyn Quinn.
I'm Evelyn Quinn, and I live here in Adrian. Is this how it's supposed to be? Do we want our community to live in fear and hiding? A friend of ours cannot attend our protests as her parents are worried for her safety, and they sadly have every reason to be. I saw ICE the other day outside of a church, and our people aren't even safe in their place of God and worship. Innocent men are being taken off the street by unknown men, held for weeks, and then forced to pay bail for a crime they did not commit. That's ransom. How is it not? He is a legal citizen with no criminal record. Why did he have to pay bail? These are good, honest, and kind, hardworking American citizens who deserve every right we all do. These are human beings with families and souls and emotions, and we treat them like dirt. Immigrants and slaves built this country, and we treated them poorly then, and we treat them no better now. I'm asking you to fight for your people. They are unique and beautiful beings who deserve respect and compassion. You say you hear us and that you care, but there have been no changes, and actions speak louder than words. Thank you.
Thank you. Those are the last of the forms I have. Are there any others? Last call for public comment. Thank you. Commissioner comments? Any commissioner comments? Administrator, clerk comments?
I do. I have one. Just a reminder, on Friday, August 1st, the old courthouse, this building, is going to be locked down at 2:30. We'll be closing for safety training, and all of the commissioners are invited to attend to that training. Just be here before 2:30 when the doors lock.
Questions of the administrator? Thank you, Administrator Murphy. Announcements? Hearing none, a motion to adjourn would be in order. I have a motion by Commissioner Tillotson, supported by Commissioner Martis. All those in favor signify by saying yes. Yes. Opposed, no. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for attending.